Welcome to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. I'm your host, Molly Watts. If you want to change your drinking habits and create a peaceful relationship with alcohol, you're in the right place. This podcast explores the strategies I use to overcome a lifetime of family alcohol abuse, more than 30 years of anxiety and worry about my own drinking, and what felt like an unbreakable daily drinking habit. Becoming an alcohol minimalist means removing excess alcohol from your life so it doesn't remove you from life. It means being able to take alcohol or leave it without feeling deprived. It means to live peacefully, being able to enjoy a glass of wine without feeling guilty and without needing to finish the bottle. With science on our side, we'll shatter your past patterns and eliminate your excuses. Changing your relationship with alcohol is possible. I'm here to help you do it. Let's start now. Well, hello and welcome or welcome back to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. With me, your host, Molly Watts, coming to you from It's a Cooling Down, Oregon. That's right, a little bit cooler, a little cloudy even, and that's okay. We were up high 80s, 90s, and now we had I think Sunday it was like 82, literally like perfect. Yesterday it was cloudy all day but the night times, oh my goodness. Last night was cooler than it's been and it was so awesome. Window wide open all night long, just cold, fresh air. I I think I've talked about how much I'm enjoying this open window thing at nighttime on the podcast already this summer, but man, it's just so great. I love getting a good night's sleep like that, don't you? So I wanted to say before I get rolling here this week that if you are just discovering this podcast right now for like the first time, and these are some of the first episodes that you're listening to, this is a little bit different than normal. During the month of August, I have what I call my summer content series, not a summer concert series, but a summer content series. Get how I did that. And I'm sharing content from other podcast creators that I listen to or that I've been on their shows and that I like the message that they're sending. And I want to share these as an additional resource for you. If you like my podcast, you might like theirs. And that's kind of why I want to do this summer content series. It also allows me to have a little bit of a break, and I'm excited about some of the decisions and the changes that I'm making. That's right. There's some shifts coming in the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. Nothing huge, but I really want to focus in on a couple of things, and I'll be talking about that more when I get back to recording full episodes myself, which will be on September 11th. So the first episode of the new season, I guess, if you want to call it that, will be on September 11th, 2024. Today, I am delighted to share with you a conversation by fellow podcaster, fellow behavior coach, all-around good guy, Paul Levitin. And Paul hosts the Change Made Easy podcast, where he talks about behavior change and all of the mindset work that goes into that. This episode I wanted to share with you is all about clarity and certainty and how that impacts consistency. I cannot tell you how often I say to people the difference that separates those people that actually achieve the results of whatever goal it is that they're working towards, but specifically with the people that I work with, those people that become alcohol minimalists who create a peaceful relationship with alcohol. The big difference about them and everybody else is that they just keep going. They are consistently trying and moving towards practicing that incremental small steps towards improvement. And really, that's at the heart of what Paul is talking about in this episode, about why our brains crave certainty and how when doubt festers, how it can impact our consistency. And at the root of everything with regards to behavior change, it is consistency. It is doing daily, continually, and building up a practice over time that actually gets you the results. You will love this, and I will share in the show notes where to connect with Paul and where to follow the Change Made Easy podcast. Well, actually, you can just find it. Look for it in any of your podcast players. It's called Change Made Easy. And I hope that you enjoy this. I will see you soon. If you have any questions during this break time, I'm still happy to answer. You can always reach out to me, molly@mollywatts.com. And I would love to hear from you. Share your feedback, share your input with me so that I can craft a better show as I head into this new season. If there's something that you'd like to hear about, if there's something you'd like to see me do, whatever it is that you would like to see, or like to hear, I guess, rather, send me a note, molly@mollywatts.com. Here is Paul Levitin and the Change Made Easy podcast. This is excerpts from the episode, Your Certainty is Keeping You Stuck. Drop doubt for clarity. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Our brain wants certainty, and yet we can never have certainty because we live in an uncertain world. This is a paradox, and it is at the root of just about all of our struggles in terms of personal growth, personal development, and living a healthier, happier life, which is why I think this topic is so important. We have inherently doubt and fear. Doubt that if I continue down this road, will I get the result that I think I will? We have to understand that doubt and certainty cannot exist in the same body at the same time. Listen to that again. Doubt and certainty cannot exist in the same body at the same time. I'm either doubtful or I'm certain. There is not both. And since you're not certain, that means you're full of doubt. And if you're full of doubt, you will figure out a way out of whatever you're trying to do. Doubt plants a seed that will grow into disruption. I'm working out every day this week, but I doubt that it's worth it. It's so hard. I'm sore. I'm tired. Is there even any point to this? I'm not losing any weight. I'm not gaining any muscle. Okay, screw it. I'm eating healthy and going grocery shopping and cooking for myself, but I can't keep this up forever. But I doubt that I'll be able to stay on this routine once summer comes. I don't know what's going to happen when I go to a barbecue. Okay, screw it. I can't keep up with this anyway. I'll just stop at McDonald's. Because of the doubt, I am uncertain. And when I'm uncertain, my brain, me, I say, well, this isn't worth it. My brain wants to live in certainty. It wants to be guaranteed a result. But again, we live in a world of uncertainty. Nothing is guaranteed. So how do we overcome this paradox? So we are predisposed towards negativity, towards being skeptical. Okay, I don't know, I don't trust that. We are excellent naysayers. We are great at figuring out reasons why things won't work. And if you always allow yourself to listen to that little voice of why things won't work, of why it's not going to be like you think it's going to be, of why the effort isn't worth it, if you allow that seed of doubt to grow into a mighty oak tree, you will never get to where you want to go. So, all that is to say that we need to be able to develop certainty, to create clarity in what we're doing, in the goals that we are seeking to achieve, the reason why, and to be able to justify putting in the effort going through the struggle for the result that is theoretically going to come down the road. So how do we get out of this stuck cycle and start to create certainty? Well, as with anything, we want to try to make it a habit, right? Doing something once, just listening to this podcast, yeah, it might give you a little bit of an idea of what to do, but if we want to have something to where it is ingrained in us, we want to make it as habitual as possible because, again, this is stuff that's happening all the time subconsciously. So to just think about it once in a while is not going to be enough. We need this to be over and over. Certainty, certainty, certainty. Clarity, clarity, clarity. We need to be pushing out doubt all the time. We need to be increasing our trust all the time because we are fighting against, as I just said, evolution. So here are a few steps that you can take in order to cultivate not just your certainty, but to create a habit of building certainty in your day-to-day life. So all of these things that I'm going to talk about right now are things that you must do consistently. Meaning, just doing this once at the end of this podcast doesn't do anything for you. Just saying it one time, just doing it one time, it doesn't help. We have to do this stuff consistently to create a habit. All right? So, number one, I need you to stand in your decision. Stand in your decision means you need to make a choice. Choose what the result is that you want. Be as specific as possible and stand with it. Meaning, I am going to grow this podcast to 100,000 listeners. That's it. That is my choice. It's specific, and that is my goal to work on. But it's not, I'm going to grow my podcast. Okay, but I'm also going to grow my social media. Okay, but I'm also going to write a book. Okay, but I'm also going to work out. Okay, but I'm also going to do this. We have to make a choice at a certain point. Yes, I can want to do all those things, and yes, you can have many goals. But for each goal, you have to choose what is the actual desired outcome that you want. And the more specific you can be, going back to episode 2 of this podcast about goal setting, we want specific goals. Choosing I'm going to eat healthy is ambiguous. It doesn't really mean anything. Choosing I am going to cut out X amount of carbs per day or eat one salad every day as a replacement for one of my meals, or I am going to go grocery shopping every Friday so that I can make sure that I have the supplies needed is a decision, right? So habit number 1 is stand in your decision. Make a choice and stand by it. And repeat this every day. Once again, this is about consistency.
Hey, it's Molly, and I just want to talk with you for a minute about Sunnyside. I know I talk about Sunnyside and have been talking about Sunnyside for, 2 years now. And I want to let you know that that is because of not only the results that I see my clients get, but because I know the people at Sunnyside and I know how committed they are to making a product that really delivers, not only in terms of results, but in terms of user experience. They recently launched an Android version of the Sunnyside app, and inside the app, there's new upgrades and ways to support you that really are defined by the user experience. And that is just something that I really appreciate about them. I know you can trust who they are as a company, and that's really important to me. I would love for you to check it out. Go to sunnyside.co/Molly to get started with a 15-day free trial today.
So once you make your decision, we go into step 2, which is look, see, or say your goals daily. Again, I've talked a lot on this podcast about affirmations. So when you choose to stand in your decision, write it down. Put it somewhere that you can see it. It needs to be real. And there needs to be an emotional connection. So it's not just, I choose to eat healthy. It's, I am choosing to go grocery shopping every Friday so that I can have the necessary supplies to eat in a way that is congruent with my goals, so that I can show up better and have more energy, so that I can live a longer, more full life and be more connected with my family and my kids. There has to be a reason. Again, going back to, there is a struggle with every goal. So if the reason isn't big enough, we're not going to connect to it. We're not going to stay consistent with it. We're not going to be certain about it. Okay, like, oh yeah, like going grocery shopping, sure. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. But if I can connect that to an emotion, if I can connect that to the reason, to the why, going back to all the way to episode 1, connect the goal to your why, that makes it much more palpable and tangible. And again, it's not just say it, it's not just think it, it's see it. Literally write it down. I have sticky notes all over my room with affirmations that I stand and say every morning. I have a recording of affirmations that I listen to as I brush my teeth. I write down my affirmations in my journal when I do my morning journaling. I see them, I say them, I write them. It gives me certainty. Repetition, repetition, repetition. The next step in creating the habit of certainty, building this brick by brick, is to feel it. Again, I just said the emotion. Feel it through to the end. Meaning, visualize the end of the goal as if you've already achieved it. So it's one thing to have a goal of eating healthier and losing weight and being able to show up better for your family. That's great. Now, make it real by, again, visualizing the end goal. Sit and close your eyes. Think about what it will look like 6 months to a year from now if you are consistent, if you do cultivate this habit of certainty and you don't give up. What will your life be like? Think as if you have achieved it. Speak in the present tense. When I have created a podcast that reaches 100,000 listeners weekly, I will be affecting more lives. I change people's mindset. I help people live healthier, happier lives. This trains my brain to see the end goal so that when it doesn't have that literal, legally binding contract guarantee, this stands in its place. My brain is always looking for like, okay, what's the reason for all this? Since I don't have that briefcase full of $1 million to look at, I have this instead. I have the visualized end goal, and my brain sees that and goes, okay, yeah, that's a good thing. Let's work towards that. Now, again, this is consistently every day, every night. It might seem like a lot to ask to do. I'm supposed to say all this stuff. I'm supposed to make all these affirmations every day, every night. But listen, you do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you to do anything. I'm telling you what will help you if you want to do it. So it all comes down to how bad do you want this. If changing your life is worth it to you, then saying some affirmations first thing in the morning and right before bed might be the lowest hanging fruit to get you to really change your life. And the last thing that I want to say goes right off of that. The last step in building a habit of creating certainty is to control your life through standards. And by standards, I mean commitment. Exactly that. It's not about, I say affirmations. I say my affirmations every morning and every night. That's the standard by which I live my life. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's not something that you have to do, but that is the standard that I choose to live by. And because it's a standard, it's something I try to hold myself to. It's not just like something I try to do. It's not just something that would be cool. It's not something that, oh yeah, okay, I think about it and then I forget. This is the standard by which I judge myself. It's a rule. It's a fact of my life. By setting standards, by setting rules, by living to the laws that you create for yourself, it gives you, once again, something to work towards, something to hold yourself to. I'm going to try to eat healthy is different than I am going to eat a salad for dinner 5 nights a week. That is a standard that I can track. That is a metric that I know. Did I do this or did I not? And that's a way to have control, and control, again, breeds certainty. When I don't know if I hit a goal or not, it becomes very wishy-washy. Once again, I keep alluding to my other episodes. There's an entire goal setting episode I'll link in the show notes if you haven't listened to that. SMART goals, specific, measurable. We want goals that we can measure because I want to know if I hit my goals. Having standards allows me to know that. Did I do this? Yes or no? Simple. Check box answers. Can I check off, yes, I did this, or no, I didn't? I want to know with certainty, did that happen? Because that gives me certainty to move forward. It allows me to commit because I'm knowing, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. And I need that. So just to recap, in order to build the habit daily, weekly, monthly of creating certainty allowing us to be consistent, consistency allowing us to create certainty. They're two hands that wash each other. We need to stand in your decision. Choose what is going to happen. Make a decision. You need to look, see, and say your goals daily. Look at, see, and say your goals out loud. Ideally, you write them somewhere where you can see them and you read them out loud. If you want to rewrite them in a journal, whatever you want to do, the exact details aren't important. If you want to type them, that's fine. But you need to be going over them daily. You need to feel it through to the end. Visualize the end goal as if it were happening already. And speak about it and believe it and feel it and show your brain this is what we're working towards. This is the thing that we're going to get. This is how I'm going to feel when I'm there. And then lastly, set standards for yourself. Set rules. Live by them because that will build certainty into your life. If I'm wishy-washy, there is no certainty, that leaves room for doubt. Doubt cannot exist in the same place as certainty. When the littlest amount of doubt creeps in, all certainty goes out the window. We need certainty. We need trust. We need faith.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. Take something you learned from this week's episode and put it into action. Changing your drinking habits and creating a peaceful relationship with alcohol is 100% possible. You can stop worrying, stop feeling guilty about overdrinking, and become someone who desires alcohol less. I work with people in 3 ways. You can learn about them over at www.mollywatts.com/workwithme. Or better yet, reach out to me directly. It's molly@mollywatts.com. We'll jump on a call and discuss what's best for you. This podcast is really just the beginning of our conversation. Let's keep it going.